everyone, this is Bow Hunting Radneck for Indian Creek Bow Hunting Journal, and today we have a review for you. Review slash, if you will, competition between a PSE Decree IC. This is I believe a 2015 bow that I just got about 4 weeks ago for about $400 delivered to my door. Now, I've had the version that had these cams, these IC cams, on a PSE DNA that I did a review back several years ago. It's probably been about maybe 6 years ago. And the reason why I ended up buying an older bow, which was actually brand new for $400, first of all, is because it was a great deal. It was about a $950 bow back in 2015. And also, I'm just not happy with PSE's new lineup. I believe it's the Evo NXT or something like that, which is kind of taken over for these bows, long since taken over for this, and also the Evolve as well. And reason being is the speed is just, I've been looking at the specs on that. I just can't bring myself to buy a bow that shoots well under 300 feet a second at 60 pounds. So I went back to the old version. I never did buy a PSE Decree. And I thought, you know, I'll go back to these speed cams. This is definitely a speed bow. And I'll give you those specs in just a minute, but 355 feet a second is what it shoots at. Thanks for watching. So here we go.
Father, teach me to trust when your thinking is unknowable, when I lack the capacity to understand. For you have proven your trustworthiness and your love beyond measure. Your Son sent to the cross for my sin, what a treasure.
All right, guys, let me give you the specs on this bow real quick. First of all, the brace height on this bow is built for a speed bow. It's just barely 6 inches, so going to be quite a bit less forgiving than something like my PSE Evolve 28, which has about a 7-inch, I believe, brace height. And the reason I'm not giving you the specs on the PSE Evolve, even though I'm kind of comparing it with that, is I already did a review on that bow, so you can go back and check that out on my channel. The axle to axle length is 31 3/8 inches, so it's still short enough that you can hunt out of blinds and out of tree stands. The bow draw length, you don't need a press to change the draw length, but you simply follow these letters here, corresponding letters. Goes from 24.5 inches to 30 inches, and of course starting on the A is the 30 inch, and then descending from there, A would be 30-inch draw length, B would be 29.5, C would be 29, and so on. I shoot a 29-inch draw length, and I'll show you some modifications I made to this bow to make it a little bit easier to shoot. The draw weight on this particular bow has 60-pound limbs, maxed out. It's registering at 59, about 59 and some change. I have it up there on the screen there for you. The IBO speed is rated at 355, and of course that's for a bow that is no weight on the string at all, and shooting a 350 grain arrow at 30-inch draw length and a 70-pound bow. That's for 355. That's smoking fast. This particular bow, I am shooting a 400 grain arrow, which is an arrow I've just recently added some weight to my arrows, but 400 grain arrow at 29 and a little change, and I'll show you why, because I modified these cams. The mass weight on this bow is really nice, comes in at 3.7 pounds, and this is a bow that is packable anywhere, even into a tree stand, packable into the back country. It is really a nice weight. The let off in this thing is 75%, and shooting a lower poundage, it is no problem with the let off of 75% for me. The advantage of the Evolve cam system, of course, is the fact that you can go from 80, 85 to 90% let off. And so there's a lot of let off on this bow, and I'll tell you once I give you the my final review at the end. I will tell you what I think about the difference between the two bows. Let me show you the modifications I made to this bow real quick. The first thing I did when I got this bow is I switched the cable guide from a plastic that runs on a plastic runner. You'll see it here. I switched this to the same one that is on my PSE Evolve. PSE in recent years has gone to a roller guide system, and all I did was pull off the plastic one and put on this roller guard, and it works fine with the bar that's already existing there. Works great. Haven't had any problems with that. Another modification I made to make this bow more shootable, because speed bows, and these are speed cams, these speed bows are often hard to hold back. They want to jump out of your hand. So I did a little bit of research once I got this bow, and there was a gentleman who works on bows on Archery Talk that suggested that if you're a 29-inch draw length, you set the cable stops at 29.5 inch. So you set it a half inch further back, and that'll give you a much longer valley. I tried that, and then I figured out that the valley is just it's stiffer than, for example, the Evolve cam system when you pull back. Not a problem though at 60 pounds for me, anyways. But what I found out was that valley was just way too long. And so as you pulled back, the valley, it kind of drops off into the valley, and then the valley is just flat. And it goes way back. And so I had a lot of problem with creeping. So what I did is, to modify this, is I actually drilled a hole in this cam. Now don't do this if you have a warranty on your bow, because it'll void your warranty. I don't have a warranty on this bow, so I didn't care. But I drilled a hole halfway between the 29.5 inch and the 29-inch draw marks, which is between B and C. And now my valley is just perfect. And so then I did that on this cam, this cam, and then the top cam here. And I've got a half inch there. And then I set my limb stop accordingly to where it's set up. And so this is a slide, so you don't have any problem with this. It's not automatically set. You just slide it where it is. And I got a good solid back wall on this bow, and it worked out perfectly for me, just drilling those two little holes and moving the cable stops to there. Solid back wall, a nice longer valley than, and the bow does not want to jump out of my hands anymore. Now, does that create problems as far as over rotating the cams so they're out of sync? It does slightly. But I have had no problems with accuracy with this bow in making these modifications. Here's the speed test for the PSE Decree at 59 pounds and 400 grain arrow. That's a 294 average. Here's the speed test on the PSE Evolve 28 inch.
The poundage on this bow is about 57.5 pounds, 400 grain arrow. That's about a 282 average. All right, guys, we're going to start with 40 yards and with the PSE Decree first, and we will see how well we shoot with this. Oh, that one went a little high. PSE Evolve. Yards. A little high. PSE Evolve. Alright guys, we are at 80 yards. Now with this wind, I anticipate a miss or two. So we'll see what happens. An 18 by 18 inch target. Let's see what happens here. That one missed for sure. Wow, that wind is moving me around on that one. With the modification on these string stops, by giving you about 1/4 of an inch more valley, it actually is very comfortable to hold back. Not only is it smooth to draw, a little less smooth than the Evolve cams, but it's still very manageable. And with the stops like they are, it's a very solid back wall and holds very well. And also on the release, it's dead in the hand. I absolutely love the draw cycle on the Evolve cams. It's very, very smooth. The only drawback is the fact that these cams are not the fastest cams made out there. But it's a give and take. So if you want a really, really smooth draw, you're going to have to give up some speed. So I basically use this 28-inch bow when I'm hunting out of a tree stand. With the 90% let off, you can hold this bow all day long, and it's very dead in the hand on the release as well. Alright guys, here's my final evaluation on this PSE Decree. First off, why did I not buy the PSE NXT 31 inch? Number one, too slow. I'm a PSE fanboy because I love speed, and the PSE bows are the king of speed. And I don't know what they did this year, but they decided they weren't going for speed, but they were going for comfort. It is a trade-off, and I guess if they're going to make more money doing that, more power to them. But I love speed bows, and so I have reverted back to the PSE. This is the Decree IC with the inertia cams, and this inertia cam is actually pretty smooth. It is a speed cam, and I love the feel, especially with the modifications. Without the modifications, it does want to jump out of your hand because it is a speed bow. But if you drill that hole, if you're willing, game for it, and it'll go from all the way about 27.5 inches, maybe 26, I'm not sure, but all the way to 29.5. And if you drill a hole about halfway between those notches,
you'll be able to get another 1/4 inch in the valley. And with mine at actually with the notches there, 29 and a 1/4 inch is about what my draw length would be, but that gives me about a 1/4 inch more valley. And this, with that little modification, this bow is awesome as far as holding it back. 70 at 60 pounds or 59 and 1/10 or whatever. It is very comfortable to hold back at 75%. Also, the other modification just makes the glide quite a bit smoother on the roll glide rather than the plastic. Those two modifications have made this bow very shootable, and this is definitely going to be my go-to bow because I love speed. And speed means, with a heavier arrow, speed is going to mean more kinetic energy. So that's what I like about PSE bows, and that's why I did not buy the NXT and probably never will. They tell me it's really comfortable to shoot, but that's the trade-off. The one thing about the PSE Evolve 28, which compares to the Decree, is this is a sweet shooting bow as well. It has the Evolve cam system just like the NXT does, but I don't know why this bow is rated at about 7 feet per second more than the NXT 31. I don't know why that is, but this is a 7-inch brace height, and the NXT is 6.5-inch brace height. Not sure why that is, but so if that's true, in real life situations, this bow shoots faster than the NXT. And this is about as slow as I want a bow shooting at 280 feet a second. I definitely don't want to go any slower than that. In fact, I'm thinking of putting 70-pound limbs on this and shooting it at about 65, because they don't make 65-pound limbs. And with the smoother cams, you can shoot the higher poundage. So I may do that to get my speed back up closer to 300. That's about where I like my speed, because it gives me enough kinetic energy on a 400 grain, 390, 400 grain arrow. So can't say anything bad about the Evolve cam, because it really is a good system. But anyways, this is I would definitely, if you like speed, you can look at some of the other bow models. I got this one for $400 out the door. Actually not out the door, sent to my front door in the mail, which was a great deal for a bow that sold in 2015 and 2016 for $950. So anyways, enjoying shooting this. And one other thing is, this bow is very, very light. It actually is at 31 3/8 inch axle to axle. It is a little bit lighter than my PSE Evolve, fully decked out, pretty much the same accessories on them. In fact, identically the same. This is a trophy, I think they used to call it the Trophy Hitman 7, and now they just call it the Trophy Ridge 7-pin sight or something like that. I can't remember. But decked out the same, pretty much weighing close to the same. But this bow is very packable and very nice for a light bow. One other thing, just to close out, is you'll notice on the 40-yard shot that I took, I had one arrow that flew high. And that's the nature of a speed bow. When you crunch down your brace height here at about 6 inches here on this bow, you have more torque. And that's the nature of a speed bow, and so it's going to do this. And so you can get away with the Evolve 28. You can get away with more mistakes. This bow, if you don't concentrate and stay on the target and stay concentrating on the release and follow through, you'll pay for it in accuracy more than you will this bow, because you'll notice that when you shoot speed bows, a lot of times you'll have flyers that you just weren't concentrating like you should. All right, so anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure and check out our book, God's Love Story, on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles. And as always, this is the Bow Hunting Radneck for Indian Creek Bow Hunting Journal. Thank you for watching.